Yo, yo! What's going on, champions? And welcome to Saturday Morning Freedom Training. There's no technology outages over here with the Minister of Technology. We are live and in full effect, and I'm excited to have each and every one of you connected and dialed in with us this morning. We are going to keep training short and sweet and get you guys this value and get you off to your weekend. But first, I want to take a moment to again wish a happy birthday to all of my cancers out there because it is cancer season. But now that we got that out the way, I titled training. Hold on a moment. Let me close my door because my crazy daughters may wake up soon. Any of you know who have kids, you know how crazy kids can get. But I wanted to title training today. It's your life. We just want to help you live it. And then I gave a subtitle to it. It's your time. What are you going to do with it? And see, a lot of people get involved in the home business industry and they think the person who is introducing them, they think that the company, they think that the sponsor or the upline need them. And that's not the case. So I want you guys to condition your mind, one, to understand that you don't need anybody. There are a gazillion people out there who are waiting for you to come to them and say, do you keep your options open for other ways to make extra money? So you could get people started, they could quit. You could talk to your family members, they could say no. You could talk to your church members, they could say not right now. You could talk to your friends, they could say I don't want to do those things. But the fact of the matter is 95% of the population will live, work, and die as an employee or a self-employed person fighting for 5% of the money, all right? You got to look at the numbers and understand where you're at right now so that you don't allow your emotions your temporary emotions to cause you to make long-term decisions. It's all a numbers game. And if you follow the process, if you follow the numbers, you're going to win. If I only depended on the people that I knew in my life at the time when I got started, I would have quit a long time ago. But guess what? All those people who told me no in the beginning, all those people who didn't see the vision in the beginning, somebody had to be the pioneer. Somebody had to carry the torch and be the trendsetter. And that was me. And when I went through the pain and when I went through the trials and tribulations, they came back later. But guess what? When they came back, I was promoted. I was making more money. And I was able to make more money to help them do the exact same thing. So I need you to understand this is your life. And we begin every single presentation with the question, where do you want to be in the next few years? And is what you're currently doing right now going to get you there? We begin with that because I want people to really think about that, because that's what it's all about. It's not about convincing you that JMG Direct works. It's already proven to work. We don't got to convince anybody of that. But what we do want people to pull back the veil and see, well, we want to open people's eyes and help them see that they have additional options. Whatever you're doing right now in your life or your career, that's not the be all end all. You can add some boost to it. You can add some extra to that ordinary. See, some people love their jobs, and that's great, because we need people in positions who love their job to do the job phenomenally, right? But just because you love your job doesn't mean that you don't want more. It doesn't mean that the job provides everything that you desire. So it's okay to add a JMG Direct to say, hey, I love my job, but this is going to give me the extra to put my kids through school, to have some savings, to have an emergency fund, a mini emergency fund, to do some extra fun things that I want to do. Or maybe you work too much and you love your job, but you want to scale it back, but you got to love your job. You got to do your job, because you got to maintain the lifestyle that you have. Well, if you have something supplementing, then you're able to pull back what you love doing and still have your peace, still have your sanity, and still have your bills paid. So it's just the perspective that you're looking at things at that we have to adjust, because sometimes we get to looking at it as, okay, we need to talk to people who need money. Or we need to talk to people who are broke. Or you think you have to start talk to a certain people, but there's dissatisfactions all across the board. You should be talking to every single person, because it is your gateway. It is your access to be able to get what you want. So for those who don't know me, my name is Marquise Money Mike Williams. I'm a founding member and executive senior director with JMG Direct. I would like to welcome you to training. And one thing I want you to always remember is that the difference between amateurs and professionals is training. If you're not willing to get the knowledge and wisdom, if you're not willing to get the training, then you probably don't want success as bad as you think you do. Because in anything in life, you got to know what to do to be successful. Right now, NFL season, they're starting training camp. They're getting the training. They're learning the playbook. They're learning the schemes. They're learning what they need to do. The rookies are coming in. They're learning how to play at the next level. NBA is going to be doing the same thing pretty soon. USA, Olympic basketball. They're all professionals, but they got to learn how to gel, how to work together, how to follow the system. When you start a job or a position, even if it's a new position, at some place you've been for years, you got to get the training on the position, on the systems, and on the things that you got to do different, the adjustments that you got to make. Right? So everything revolves around the proper training. So I want to take a moment to welcome all the new champions that have joined our team. I don't ever want you to despise small beginnings, right? You may look at where we're at right now and you may think like, man, there's not a lot of people. But that's great, because that means you're in at the right time. You have the opportunity to be a pioneering part of when thousands and millions of people are a part of our company. You can sit back and be like, yo, I was a part of that. And you can look at your bank account and say, yeah, I was a part of that. So the foundation, right? If you don't understand anything else, when I talk about going through the numbers, all we do is expose, right? But to expose, you got to promote. You got to get the word out there. You can't expose being in the closet. Ain't nobody going to see you. You can't expose with your lips being sealed. Nobody going to hear you. And if the people don't know, the business won't grow. So our business launch strategy, because professionals don't join businesses, they launch them. Amateurs join businesses. Professionals launch businesses. Our launch strategy is success with JMG is simple as 1, 2, 3. And that simply means you want to make one decision, that you want something more out of life, but more importantly, you're willing to do the work that it takes to get it. A lot of people like the idea of success, but they're not always willing to do the work that it takes to obtain the success that they desire. That's in a lot of things. That's in corporate America. That's in relationships. That's in their health and their wellness. You got to be willing to do the work that it takes to get it. You want to gather 2, preferably My Credit is Better customers to qualify to get paid. If you come in as a marketing brand ambassador, everybody's their own first My Credit is Better customer. Don't feel hesitant to tell somebody to get that second My Credit is Better, right? Oh, they got financial issues. I don't want them to spend the extra 90. We're not in the counseling business. We're in the business of helping people get to where they want to be, right? And you have to have a certain level of belief to know that, okay, they're going to come in, they're going to spend $199, they're going to slap another $90 on it, and that's going to be $160 a month. But you got to know, between the tax advantages, between the business growing, they're going to be able to get that right back. And every business has expenses. We don't tell people to come in and start a restaurant and say, "Oh, nah, don't get the kitchen refrigerator. We'll just put stuff on coolers because we don't have the money right now." No, you got to do it the right way. That's going to that's going to maximize your success. Now, do some people just not have it? That's a possibility, right? And that's why we say, okay, well, you can get another customer, preferably an auto ship customer. But the goal is to get everybody to 2 My Credit is Better customers. That way you can maximize your income because it's the highest commissionable item available. You got to look at the perspective that you have. If you don't believe that the business is going to work, then you're not going to go out and tell people get 2 My Credit is Better customers because you have doubts. You can't have doubts. You got to have zero doubt. Because once you make that decision, once you get those 2 customers so that you're qualified to get paid, you're zeroing in on partnering with 3 people and teaching them to do the same thing. Make a decision to get qualified, right? Now, getting 3 people doesn't have to come after getting your 2 customers, all right? You got 1 customer right off the bat. We prefer you to get 2 right away, but if you go ahead and lock in that luster shine and it takes you a week to get that second My Credit is Better, you don't have to wait to get that second My Credit is Better before you start getting your 3 people. And we'll talk about that a little bit later with the 48 hours of power. But if you have any questions during today's training, please don't hesitate. Jump in, ask, right? Ask your question. But again, it's your life. We just want to help you live it. I always use the example with my team. When we're working together, it's like playing a game of catch, right? I throw you the ball, which is an assignment, which is directions, and you completing it is like you throwing the ball back. At any point, when you don't throw the ball back, I'm not going to sit there. I got to go find somebody else who's willing to play catch with me. Why? Because I got twin babies, and they're going to need cars soon. They're going to go to college soon. They're going to want to live, have houses soon. I got a wife. There's things. I got an older daughter. There's things in life that don't stop because somebody didn't want to play catch, because somebody didn't value their goals and dreams as much as I value my goals and dreams, because an emergency happened in somebody's life. It's not always, oh, that person's a bad person or they don't want it. There's things that happen in life, right? But whatever the reason they don't throw the ball back, I cannot concern myself with that. I can be empathetic. I could be understanding. But from a business standpoint, I got to handle business and go find somebody who wants to throw the ball, play catch, until that person is willing to play catch again, right? I don't kick them off the team. I don't say, get out of here. I just love them where they're at until they're willing to play catch again. Why? Because it's my life. Right? It's my life. And somebody is helping me live it at the same time. But you got to always recognize it's your time. So first 48 hours, what's the goal? I'm going to fly through this information, guys. It's a massive action plan. right? First 48 hours, what you want to do. I'm gonna get my big head out the way for this one, right? You want to know your why. That's that one decision. Because until you know why, the how does not matter. I promise you, until you know what you're working this business for, you will never go all out and do the work that it takes to get it. It's just like health and wellness. Until you have that goal, that weight goal, that inches goal, that body goal, you're not going to go all out and do the work that it takes to diet, to work out, be consistent, be disciplined. You got to know that you know that you know where you want to go. Then you want to get it on your schedule. When are you going to go build? You got to look at the things that you have. So many people have massive things on their plate. They got family, they got church life, they got this and that. But you got to know when you're going to build your business, and you got to have an honest conversation with yourself to say, okay, are these other things helping me get to where I want to be? Right? Are these other things helping me get to where I want to be? Because they may be fun, they may be enjoyable. And can we have real talk today? It's great that you may volunteer your time to different things, including the church, but that's not a requirement to being a good person. That's not a requirement to being a good son or daughter of your God. Right? So you gotta look at where you are in life, and has giving your time to those things gotten you to where you need to be? Because if it hasn't, then you may need to temporarily invest those things to be able to get a long-term return on your investment. What do you mean, Marquise? I already invested to get started in the business. See, you may hear the term sacrifice a lot when people are talking about getting to where you want to be in life, right? You may hear people talk about, oh, you got to sacrifice. You got to give it up. Well, to sacrifice something means you're not getting it back. When in the Bible, when they sacrificed that goat wasn't coming back. They may have gotten more goats later, but it wasn't that same goat, right? When the man was asking the Bible to sacrifice his son, that son wasn't going to come back. But God had to see if he was willing. So when you have different things in your life, whether it's playing basketball, whether it's being on the PTA committee, whether it's being on the church board, right? Not saying those things aren't important, but you may want to temporarily invest that time into your JMG Direct business so you can reclaim your time overall and be able to give more time to those things while the cash flow, the residual income is still coming in. All right. These are basic success principles. I'm not saying your stuff isn't important. I'm just giving you an alternative view that may help you get to where you want to be a lot faster, instead of juggling and spinning plates, trying to fit everything in and getting frustrated. Because when you get frustrated, when you get overwhelmed, you tend to look at the thing that you think is something that you can give up, but when it's really the solution to everything that you've been wanting and been trying to do. Then you want to make sure that you're qualified. This is in the first 48 hours, right? This is in the first 48 hours. You want to make sure that these are the things that you have done. You're qualified with 2 customers. You set 10 appointments with the goal to get your 3 people. If you notice, that's simply the launch strategy. 1 decision, 2 customers, 3 people. Now, when you set the 10 appointments in your first 48 hours, these appointments should be completed within your first week. So if you got started today, if you got a new rep started today, I'm going to speak that into all of your lives. New people, new people, new people. But you get a new rep started today. Today is Saturday, right? The first week is next Saturday. So you want to have 10 appointments set between now and next Friday. Today and next Friday. If one of their people says, oh, I got a lot going on, I could meet next Saturday, then that should not be included within your 10 appointments. And then within the first 48 hours, you want your new people to watch the enrollment video again. Even if they watched it when they signed up, watch it again so that they understand how to walk somebody else through the enrollment process in the event that their sponsor or their upline is not available. This is, you're the owner of a multi-million-dollar business. It's important that you have a multi-million dollar mindset. Don't treat this like it's some little bitty home based business. You will not succeed with the mindset, habits, and schedules of that you had before. You got to increase and grow and get better. So, as a sponsor, on the other end, what you're looking for from people that you sign up is, as you're giving them the directions, right? As you're walking them doing through the things I just shared and I just explained to you, right? You're asking yourself, what, get myself over here. All right. You're asking yourself these questions. What a new rep does in their first 48 hours is going to tell you what type of rep they're going to be. Are they the type that'll make excuses? Are they the type that'll follow directions? Are they the type that'll go to the library and want to research? What hosting company does James G Direct use? You know, what servers? What's the hardware? Are they the type that's gonna focus on getting qualified? You know, are they gonna search for how deep the cables are buried? Or like I said, what hosting company we use? And that I'm not speaking literally. I mean, there has been some people who tried to do that, but it's just a figure of speech of saying they're worried about things that don't get them paid, right? James G Direct's business is their business. Our business is the people business. We're the marketing arm, right? So we don't care what server they use. We don't care what the IP addresses are or what the back end is. What we care about is if it works. What we care about is when we order something, does the order show up? What we care about is when we order something, does the website work, right? That's what we care about. When we sign up a representative, do they go into the system? And when they get qualified, does the check come, right? And then it'll also show you, are they the type of person that'll quit before they get started? Because when people start telling you things, pay attention, listen. Sometimes people will start telling you that they're subconsciously looking for reasons to quit. And you want to pay attention to that so that you can, one, move quickly so that we can get into their network. Well, Marquise, that's kind of shady. Why are you trying to get into their network? Because it's not about them. You guys, that's what I want you to understand. We are in the people business, the business of changing people's lives. Each person we sign up is a gateway to more people's lives that we can change, right? And it's not fair that people as a whole, us included, we can't hoard our people and say, oh, no, I'm not telling my people this. When those people may be praying for opportunity, and you and the people that you sign up may be the only answer to their prayers, right? So looking at this list, you can't blame anything on a new rep if you're not giving them the proper directions, right? You got to give the new rep directions when they first get started for them to follow. Otherwise, they're not going to know what to do, and they will make excuses, right? They will go to the library. They will not focus on qualify because you haven't told them, you haven't given them the yellow brick road to follow. So when you're working with a new rep, it's important that they understand the trust respect triangle, right? This ain't Rockefeller. We're not talking dynasty, right? This is the trust respect triangle. The trust respect triangle simply says you and your prospect, you have trust because you know each other. But you might not have respect. Why? Because you know each other. They might not respect your business knowledge. They respect you as a person, but they may not respect your business acumen, right? So that's why it's important for you to edify an expert, right? So that you can take the spotlight off of you. And when you speak highly of or edify the expert and take the spotlight off of you, they will respect what that expert has to say. And because you edify them, they will add a bit of trust to that person. So with the trust and the respect, they will get the information. And that's all we want them to do, is to set the appointment to get 100% of the information so they can make an educated decision on if they're in or they're out. That's all we care about, right? Relationship don't change. We're sharing something with them, either they're in or they're out. Yo, there's a concert this weekend. You in or you out. Our relationship doesn't change based on if you coming with me or not, but I'm giving you the opportunity to come with me. So I need to know if you're in or you're out so I can move on to the next person if you're out. Right? It's really simple principles. A lot of times people confuse it and complicate it in their brain, but it's no different than the things that we encounter and go through in life. Yo, I want to go out to eat this weekend. You want to come? Nah, man, I got something going on. Okay, cool. It doesn't change our relationship. You just got something going on. It's not, the timing's not right for you. It doesn't change the fact that I'm going out to eat. I'm getting my grub on. It doesn't change the fact that I may invite some other people and they may come with me and get their grub on too. It's just a matter of understanding the process and things that are going to make it simpler for you to be successful. So for the presentation, make it an event. Get excited about it. You show up, you be excited about it. Just like all of you guys commented today, and I appreciate you. We want that every presentation. Jump on. Hey, this is Catherine from St. Paul. This is Duran from Charleston. This is All Day Dre from the ATL, right? This is Coach, Prosperous Rise Family. That's what we love. That's the prosperity community. And that's what other people are going to see. But if you just jump on and don't say nothing, nobody knows that you're on. So the other guests don't know that we have great people within our prosperity community that are also plugging in. So to do that, it's important that you beat the countdown. Don't do it in the middle of the presentation. If that's when you get on, then that's when you get on. But we prefer you to get in at the beginning because as the people are coming in, a lot of them coming in on time, we want them to see it or see it after they get on. Don't hope your guests get on. Direct them on. Call them up. Make sure that you walk them through getting on. Go to their house. Get on with them. Engage during the presentation. Don't distract. Don't have an argument with somebody in the comment section, but engage during the presentation. And when I say no empathy and no sympathy, right? Guys, we're getting on an online presentation. Back in the day, we used to have to drive to meetings. 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. We used to go pick up guests, right? That's right, Coach. All ships rise with the tide. We used to have to go pick up the guests. We used to go pick up the guests and get stood up going to pick up the guests after they just told us to come pick them up. Now, we got technology at our fingertips. We should have a guest on every single presentation. If not a guest, a new rep because you already showed them the plan, right? But for that to happen, you have to be confident in your business and stay off the emotional roller coaster. Understand that you got something special. There's some will, some won't. So what next? You're just looking for the people who are looking for you. And then for those of you who have, decent homes, have a home meeting. Invite people over on a Tuesday, on a Thursday. Put it up on your smart TV. Don't invite them over and tell them it's a barbecue and then just throw it up like, hey, for those of you who want to make some money, look at this. Let them know that it's a business meeting and there will be food. Lead with the priority. Because I know some of you know how to cook. So people will just show up for the food. But you got to let them know, hey, I'm inviting you over for business. There's going to be some food there, but I'm inviting you over for business because I want to show you my business. All right. You sit them down, you show them the business. For those who are interested, you move them over to a different place. Those who are not interested, hey, you can leave, go get a plate, whatever you need to do. But I need to keep you away from these people who are interested because I don't need you saying none of your negativity or nothing stupid. All right. So before I let you go, you guys, I want to share with you something called the price of the promise, right? And it's to put you in the thought process of, are you willing to count the costs? Because you've often heard me say the start stops most people. People allow themselves to quit. They got involved. They knew they had goals. They knew they had dreams. They knew what they were doing wasn't getting them to where they wanted to be, right? They have sponsors who are successful. They have a whole prosperity community of people who are successful, but they listen to the people who turn them down, who don't have anything that they want. So I'm going to fly through this story and then I'm going to let you go ahead and start your Saturday on. But Always remember, people don't fail. They give up and quit. Even my shirt says it. The only way to fail is to give up. Paul D. Jones quotable that I stole. I ain't gonna lie. But I'm gonna fly through this and I'm gonna read it to you. Mark Yarnell, minister in a small town in Texas, was headed for bankruptcy, just about to lose his car and home. He looked for a way out and discovered network marketing. Luckily, he had a wise sponsor. The sponsor gave Mark the promise. This business can set you free financially in 1 to 3 years. Sidebar. This is back in the day. It doesn't take that long to set you free anymore. But he also gave him the price. To succeed, you will have to face and conquer 4 major enemies. Second sidebar. These enemies still exist to this day. Mark said it's a deal. Mark began by inviting 200 friends over to his house to watch a video. 200 friends. He's going through the numbers. 80 said no, not interested. Didn't even want to take a look, take a gander, take a chance. Just not interested off the rip. Mark had encountered enemy number 1, rejection. He thought no problem. My sponsor warned me about that. I've got 120 people still coming over. Guess what? 50 didn't show up. He had just met enemy number 2, deception. Mark thought no problem again. My sponsor warned me about that also. I got 70 people who watched the tape. Guess what? 57 said not interested. Man, it's got to be tough. He had just encountered enemy number 3, apathy. Undaunted, Mark thought, no problem. 13 people signed up. Now, another sidebar. People are out here putting 13 people on their list and wondering why they're not getting the success that they want. They got 13 people on their list. They're still going through rejection. They're still going through deception. They're still going through apathy, but with a much smaller list. So when they get that rejection, they start sweating bullets because they feel like, oh man, this thing ain't gonna work. Not even realize there's a whole population of people out there who are looking for you. But undaunted, 13 people signed up. Guess what? 12 of them dropped out the business shortly thereafter. He just encountered enemy number 4, attrition. Attrition had left Mark with just one serious associate. But to this day, that single distributor earns Mark over $50,000 per month. You may have heard of Bill Britt, one of the most successful distributors in Amway. Some years ago, 2020 did a feature on Amway. They spent 19 minutes interviewing whiners and complainers, several distributors who have failed and showed their garages full of products they couldn't sell. Sidebar, we don't have a garage full of products. It's all online, so we don't have to worry about if we can sell them or not. During the last minute of the show, Mr. Britt was interviewed in front of his palatial home. He was asked, Mr. Britt, this business has obviously worked for you. What's your secret? He replied, there is no secret. I simply showed the plan to 1,200 people. It's a lot of people, guys. 900 said no, and only 300 signed up. And out of those 300, only 85 did anything at all. Out of those 85, only 35 were serious. And out of those 35, 11 made me a millionaire. Like Mark Yarnell, Bill worked through the numbers. Jason Boyarko, former co-founder of New Vision, told this story recently. When he was a distributor at Maytal, he signed up 50 people. He heard a lot of no's on his way to those 50. Jason took one man who he knew would be a terrific in the business to lunch. He told him about the business. The man said no. Jason took the man to lunch again the next month and told him the updates. Once again, the man said no. Sidebar, he waited a month. He didn't take him to lunch the next week or the next day. He gave the man some space, gave the man some time. He came to him with updates, right? Can't just don't beg people, right? Give them some space, go work, say next. When you got some updates, some different information, then follow up with them, especially if we have promotions. Once again, the man said no. Jason sent him some information, took him a lunch again the next month. And again, the man said no. That went on for 6 months. The 7th month, something had changed for the man. He said yes. He said yes. I want you to understand something. People's situation changes. That's why you have to always follow up. You don't beg, you just check in. That man made Jason over $1 million. Jason also worked through the numbers. You see, when people's situation change, they remember you planting those seeds. But you also have to treat them with love and respect. When they say no, you don't diss them. Oh, that's why you're going to be broke in a few years. No, you don't do that. That won't get you anywhere. According to Richard Poe in Wave 3, it's a book. While starting Amway, Rich DeVos and Jay Van Andel, America's 11th richest people at the time, recruited 500 people. 495 dropped out. The 5 that didn't quit built Amway. All $7 billion of Amway's business at the time was built under those 5 people. Jay and Rich had to work through the numbers. Man, there's so many stories I can go through. Jet, the top money earner in Manatech, signed up 27 people his first month. One might think that he is especially talented at sponsoring. Actually, Jet will be the first to tell you he's not talented at all. In fact, he feels he did very poorly. To recruit those 27, Jeff talked to 2,000 people that first month. And of the 27, the only one who did anything significant with the business was Ray Jabbar, who has more than half a Manatech in his downline. Jet's word to you is that the numbers never lie. Pick your goal, then get into massive action. If you talk to enough people, you will make it. Here's the lesson. Your success is directly related to the degree to which you're willing to work to find others like yourself who are committed to succeed. Sidebar, these people were working through these numbers and they didn't have technology like we do. So when you see these big numbers, understand it's a lot easier to go through those numbers with social media and text messages and the tools and technology we have today. Mike Yarnell's odds were 1 out of 50. Jeff's were 1 out of 2,000. Would you be willing to go through 200 people to find the one who will make you $50,000 a month, or go through 200 people to become a millionaire, or hear uncounted no's to sign up 50 people to find $1 million person? I really hope you will. It's easier when you know the odds up front. But here's the catch. You have to set your own odds, and you won't know what they are until after you succeeded. So if you've gone through 50 or 100 people and you haven't found one serious person yet, you can either give up and assume the business doesn't work, or recognize that you're working through your own numbers. Are you willing to find out what your own set of odds are? That means you must be willing to pay the price for freedom. Remember that the numbers never fail you. Despite where you are in your skill level in your life, your success is assured if you simply talk to enough people, if you're willing to go through the numbers. And as your skill improves, so will your odds. There's no such thing as luck in this industry. Winning is a matter of being willing to pay the price. Are you? Your future is in your hands. The choice which you make today will determine the course of your entire future. We just experienced a mass tech outage. People lost their jobs. People weren't able to do work. I want you to understand you can only control what you can control. And then when stuff happens out of your control, you have to understand life is 10% what happens to you and 90% of how you respond to it. Your James G. Direct business, the numbers that you go through are in your control. Not their answers, but going through the numbers is in your control. So I'll leave you with this quote. Do more than try. I will try means there's no real commitment. Therefore, you're leaving the door open to create an excuse for what you have not committed to. So we got the Simple Wealth Blueprint this week. You guys, let's get this presentation to 100 plus people. Let's blow this thing up. People are looking, and all you got to do is be there and invite. The Paul D. Jones Show, it's exploding. Let's keep it that way. Use it as a tool. I call Tuesdays Wealthy Tuesdays because you get the Paul D. Jones Show and you get to plug into the Simple Wealth Blueprint. But our call to action for this week, set 10 appointments in the next 48 hours. Launch your business. I said this last week too. How many of you followed it? How many of you followed it? Because the evidence would have showed up Tuesday. Only you know if you had those guests on Tuesday. And our ultimate goal is to partner with 3 this week. So I haven't seen any questions. I want to thank you for your time. Always remember, you're the best investment that you got. You're born to win. So play to win right now because each and every one of you are already a champion. I got your back. I see you at the top and I see you at the bank. I love you guys. Peace.